car. I was wondering what it was doing there. Huh.
Have you ever counted the rugs around the map?
No, but in COD, I know everyone hates when I bring up COD, big deal, it's another esport, guys, just deal with it. On Grid, there was 598 glass bottles once because we had a practice and no one was listening to strats, so I just said, all right, guys, start counting bottles. And we did. All right,
Astralis going to go for the B hit, however, there are two players waiting on the other side. We do have a raid boss as well, that being Device at the forefront. So far, it doesn't particularly matter. Edwards already plucked the head off the shoulders of Kievi, but there's a response. Finally, the raid boss does find his place. The bomb's going to be trying to be planted, and now it's going to be retake time for NAVi.
How many rugs are there?
I'm not too sure. We did to go around count at one point.
Okay. Rush will do it for us.
Yeah.
Device holding off the window, not pushing through this time to hold them off. They got them limited into the kitchen. 4 players there, though, and good isolation on Device to find the first shot. Second one coming through, though. It's Flamey and Seized, who picks up 2, and they're in. Suddenly, it's just Kerrigan. They had a man advantage in this. A 4 versus 3. It's down to a 2 versus 1 as good crosshair placement does get him the first kill, but they're on the defuse already. Seized with the kit, and he's holding off. He's staying alive. Flamey's done enough. He tries to line it up. He knows the situation is that he's going for the defuse. I said kit, by the way. It's 10 seconds, and immediately Flamey meets shields and then fires back and gets the kill. So very well done from NAVi to get out of that situation. 2 very tight choke points.
I'm amazed they pulled off this retake as well, if I'm completely honest. It's incredibly tough when they know where you're coming from. They had no one coming from short, they had no one coming from the back. And be able to hit these shots back to back. You know, a lot of people facing in these situations as well, rather than just holding the crossfires. Left Kerrigan in that 1v3 sadly for him. However, he did make it, you know, quite competitive in a way. And now we're going to have the flash and the smoke. Maybe just going to smoke out towards stairs, flash the players out, allow them out of Palace. That's actually not the smoke I expected, so Kerrigan going to switch it up here.
So mid-site smoke, bounce, land, you can rush in, go for the default plant, well not default, but the safe plant behind the triple. So it's a quick play, and that's exactly what they've done. So Dupree rushes through, that smoke is strictly for the money, and they'll get it. Now what else can they do in terms of economy? Well, not much. They did manage 1 kill onto Simple on the way through, but Device, he's just gonna bail out. He's got a deagle, carry that over, why not? They've got a plant, as I mentioned, to work with, so keep what little utility or purchase he's made and buy guns up a little bit quicker, and I mean that's a reasonable play to just try and get that down, but good read. Yeah, exactly. I mean that's the most simple, like for anyone who Yanko was talking about matchmaking and going for defaults and pushing through yada yada, getting that. Yeah, that's the next sophistication into it. But for anyone who just wants a simple way to get the bomb down, there's a smoke there that we saw, and there's a smoke as well in the B site that lands just outside the window between the first 2 pillars that you can plant in, and both of those are things that you can do when you're limited to pistols and you just need to build up money to just get really fast bomb plants.
Look, me and Alex have our own plans. Happy stole our strats, if I'm honest, especially
so that's why
Mirage.
Envious is doing terrible now.
Wow. Wow.
Makes perfect sense.
Wow. They did fine on cash. All right, Matt. Behave.
Sorry.
You know, go for the sneaky little plant. We do the nice, like, pretend to rush B, go through Palace. Works none of the time. Anyway, smoke towards the other side of Connector there. Will allow Dupree and the rest to be able to peek in towards Connector itself. Again, just get that nice mid control. But NAVi are allowing this to happen again. They're not exactly stopping them from taking this. They've already backed away and playing a little bit more from the sides itself. But Dupree, I love this play from Dupree. He's always so good at getting towards ladder room. He can be such a pest from this sort of spot. But teams caught onto this. They know what sort of power he can contain once he gets there. So again, Astralis need to find their way through now.
So Simple. He's going to play this from Sandwich right now. Flamey already covering off Palace, takes out the most vulnerable position and angle that he would have to worry about in that situation. So instead, he walks back out, covers off A main, and it's over toward B that Astralis will go. Smokes, well, not really much available for Astralis to work with. They've got Molotovs and flashes, but they cannot try and isolate the bench. They cannot cover off the window. And they're just going to have to straight up brawl on the way through. Kierby's going to be the one to throw the smoke, and Zipix and Device are going to be the ones to go in and try and start this off, but Seized. His timing is going to be so crucial. He will not stop them on the way through, but Edward is boosted and Seized is behind them. This is going to be a slaughter bomb in the smoke. Oh, that's big for Dupree, though, because now they get the plant, but there it is. Seized comes back around, picks up 2. Molotov's going to force him to commit, but it's Zipix that's just remaining now inside of the bench, and Kerrigan once more has to clutch out from this position at the corner on Catwalk. He's found 1 kill, but it's another 1 versus 2 bomb not planted for him yet again.
He's in the same position as before as well. They're closing in towards it. Guardian knows what's up. He's going to get the angle nice and comfortable, and there's the defuse this time. And NAVi making it... It looked a little closer. You know, it looked almost competitive there, but not quite far enough. So NAVi retain again. That was one of the gun rounds coming out from Astralis, bearing in mind. And NAVi with the Storm just perfectly fine. Edward being in this sort of position could have done so much more damage, but it was the flank around the back from Seas that really just turned the tide for me there. As you can see, him finding two and removing any threat that was on the board. However, you know, money's a little thin for both sides. No real kind of cushion to pull back on here for either of them. So going back into this with everything they can. It looks like a bit of an A-hit coming out here, at least for now. Whether they commit to it, we'll yet to find out.
Device tries to line up towards CT. As he looks at Ticket Booth instead, Flamey, that's when he pops back out. Simple. He'll compensate for him going down to Kierby's Deagle. And a third as he fires over towards Zipix, goes down on the Astralis side. It's now just going to be Dupree and Kerrigan remaining, and Dupree walking in, gets caught by Guardian. Simple, pretty straightforward. 3 kills for him. Mopping them up, really. No entrance points available for Astralis, and limited again. They're going to go back to Deagles. I'd like to see them still grab smokes in this. I'd like to see them try and get bombed down as much as possible so they can keep that economy rolling at least a little bit to bring out utility.
Yeah, we'll see if it pays off towards the end of this one. So, Flamey with the SMG, going out to go farming. And already it's Simple. Simple's doing it. Simple's had enough. He wants some of the action. He's not had much of it this time, to be fair. And there we go, nice and easily done. And sadly for Flamey, not had much of a chance. Kerrigan gave him the option, and Flamey will happily take it. After everyone else got his kills for him, he wanted to build up the money and catch up with his peers. Again, he was slightly further behind the rest, but now sitting pretty nicely and can upgrade. So we do see Kerrigan picking up the order here. I don't know if he has a more favorable spawn than Device or anything to really just make him choose it over him, but it does seem as though Kerrigan will be playing with the AWP here on the T side over Device so far. So again, this is playing towards what we were saying before.
Guardian, this is so smart. This is the perfect counter to this catwalk smoke. So it's designed to get you to the top mid boxes. He goes down below it. He'll catch you in transition. You almost, I mean, this is becoming so common, you almost need the flash to do this. Oddly enough, they've thrown this for effectively just the fake, just to try and contain them inside a middle and keep them guessing as to what's going on. But Guardian pushing up that far and not seeing anyone. They go aggressive on the opposite side of the map on A, expecting that, all right, they haven't gone that direction. They're not going to utilize mid. Perhaps it's an A stack. And Simple just walks out, gets caught off. Now they've got the defense guessing because they've got both sides of the map with some activity.
Yeah, you can't read into this kind of very spread out default almost. It's like the 1-3-1, but a little more committed towards certain sides. Again, they will try and reconvene towards A. They can get a nice split if Kiev was able to get away with that. However, Edward doesn't like the odds of it. He wants to shut down any threat from middle, and he's done just that. That's going to allow them to just focus in towards A. Look at this positioning from NAVi, Edward, Guardian, Flame. You're watching this. Device is a little further out. Dupree's en route, and Zipmix playing through Palace. They lock off one angle, and they want to find the rest of them. A little careless from Flamey to step into that. Didn't expect a Device to be on Tetris just yet. Guardian now needs to adjust here.
And smartly, he will. But the interesting thing is that he's going to rotate around when the rifle comes up toward jungle because they're out of smokes. They don't have the last smoke that they would have needed to cover off that jungle position. And Guardian, when he rotates, the one on CT's already gone. So Edward has a massive gap to play with. They're going to walk in toward it, but they do force him back slightly. It's seized instead. Once more, fast rotation coming out of B. And all the information goes the way of NAVi. They get 6 straight rounds, and Astralis, they're doing the simple things, but NAVi's reading, they're making it too predictable, and every time they try and get map control, they get in one area and give it up somewhere else. So I think a standard default right now of 1 on A, just watching the ramp, 1 toward the B apartments, and just try and get some mid control would be the best route, of course, for them because they're absolutely struggling. And we saw Seized, even when they went to the B execution, they'd already boosted Edward. Caesar was on the flank there. This time he pushes through. Guardian, he knows that by getting to the top a minute at the start of that, he knows they're not toward the horseshoe. So as soon as the contact was made on A by Simple, Seized just immediately starts pushing.
Yeah, you can easily punish that sort of aggression. Sorry, the production just said timeout. So
Thanks, Matt.
like,
we got that.
Thanks, buddy. I just like, well, I thought they were just really taking their time this round, but no, yeah, the 1-3-1 would work really well, as you said. It would punish any of that sort of like roaming aggression NAVi's been bringing out, where they've been trying to find out the info. I feel quite bad in a way, because some of these ideas when they're doing that kind of split towards A through mid has been just shut out by, like, for example, Edward just taking the fight towards underpass in a couple of rounds. Like, some of these sort of plays has been just incredibly hindering towards Astralis being able to get some sort of proficient play towards A. Because by the time they lock down that mid-presence, they can all just focus towards A ramp. You know, they can sit there and watch that in Palace and they're like, well, we know they're not anywhere else. So again, it's not fun to have to deal with that sort of thing. But again, Astralis, you know, this is the sort of team that should be able to do this stuff. They're not exactly new to it. They're not exactly a team who needs to be told how to adjust to these situations. They know how to play against NAVi. It's as simple as that. These guys, although they don't particularly meet as often as maybe you'd assume, they should know what to do by now. Again, sure they're rusty, sure they've come back in from a break. And I hate saying people are rusty. Put the work back in, get back to it, get back to the grind. And we want to see how well they can do here. Because they do need to start going. Because we've seen so many teams throughout the Pro League's history going on that little bit of a slump at the start and then finally deciding, all right, let's finally start playing. And well, by that point, it's normally too late.
Wesley was so confused. He was like, AK-47, and then Simple picked it up, and he was like, where'd it go? I can't find it. Mom, why'd you leave me again?
Mom! Do you know there's 2 layers to the palace area? Have you ever looked up in Palace? Rush, takes the...
I know, yeah, there's a whole little balcony. It's like a little atrium or mezzanine. It's a mezzanine, that's what it is.
It would be a mezzanine.
Yeah.
It's lovely. No, you don't go up there, you look up to it.
I could think you don't walk up there, because the
God.
floor obviously doesn't work. It's probably designed by Rushley himself.
No, I remember there was a Valve dev who was discussing the fact of like how hard it is to make gamers look up in games. They had such a trouble in Half-Life and stuff like that, because you're so focused on eye level. So it's quite cool when you like eventually, like I get bored when I'm doing like nades and I'm being boring and dull. I like to look around the map and, oh God, Rush, please, stop it. This is as bad as you surfing. You can't even do fruits.
He's actually pretty good at serving, I'm not gonna lie.
He's really not. What were you doing, Forbidden Waves today? Was that it?
He's pretty good.
Did you complete it?
He can't answer. I was about to say he can't answer us. That's good.
What is going on?
Well, yeah, go in your car and go home.
It's time for me to leave. But no, you could do the right. There was a bunch of chairs that are just on roofs as well around here as well. You've got little cafes. Oh, he's found another one. So which reminds me of Crossfire when you get like slightly out of the map.
All right, we can only have so many COD references per...
Hey, that was at least the good.
Yeah, COD 4 was good.
One.
That's right. Anyway, I totally agree. Modern COD is complete trash, but COD 4 was a good one.
All right, so I think Dupree's just going back soon. I think he had to rejoin the server. I think he's having a couple of ping issues. Whether it's just ISP or whatever it is, it's a bit of an issue, so you can try and work through that. Rush, show me something incredible on this map that I've never seen before.
Well, let's get him to count the rugs.
No.
He's like looking around frantically. Incredible, incredible.
Nice!
I know that ladder's there, because that's usually when I film my catwalk smoke from spawn, that's what happens.
How?
Because I throw it from the right side, trying to get faster out toward middle.
But you can do it from the bin. You just sit on the bin and do it. How'd you,
no. The deep cat smoke, the one that covers off toward.
Right,
yeah.
Okay. I thought you.
Yeah, I throw it right side, and it's it's a lot harder, and I always mess it up.
Go up here. Look at these nice. Look below you, Rush. Look below. No, like on the rooftop still. There's all little seating areas and stuff. Like, where are you meant to get up to there? Like, look to the right. No. Yeah,
well, obviously, in real life, these windows and doors would open, and you'd walk through the building, Lauren.
I'm just saying, it's not practical, and it ruins my immersion.
You know what's not practical? The fact that if you were in warfare, you'd totally have a sniper on those roofs.
That's very true.
So, CS, you're a lie.
Yeah. God, CS, I thought it was a military simulator. No. Can you imagine if they added zeroing into CS? I should never say this. Valve devs might be listening, and it's always terrifying if you talk around them. But can you imagine it? You'd have to zero your op to certain like distances.
Go on.
I'm not going into detail because they were like.
Guardian would just literally find a way to bind his scroll wheel and then get a Logitech mouse where he can just spin it non-stop, and it would just constantly be zeroing, and it would glitch. Yeah, and he'd just fire, and it would be on all zeros.
I've never seen that before, actually.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, you found some cannons. Why are there cannons here? Usually, cannons are something you'd see in like a naval or like a coastal area that looks like desert. I would expect more like tank guns.
I guess it's just like an old castle.
Oh wow, Rushley got shot out of the cannon. Finally.
Huh. Crossfire, told you.
I knew you were gonna say it. I knew you were gonna say it.
The man, the myth, the legend, Tim Denton. Crossfire. No. Rush is desperately trying to leave here and go home.
Let's test Rush. Okay, Rush. Okay. If you're on the CT side, what's the fastest way to smoke A main? Where do you throw it from? Where do you throw it from? Go to spawn as if you leave spawn. That's incorrect.
Oh.
No. You go left out of spawn. No, go back to CT spawn. All right, Rush.
Don't worry, Rush. You ignore him, all right?
We can do a different smoke. Let's do a different smoke, Rush. Rush.
Oh, you're doing
where
CT.
Do you throw? Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. Rushley, where do you throw the top jungle smoke from when you're T side? The one that lands on top of the A. Okay, yes, that's true, but where's the safer spot to throw it from so no one pushes through A main? Close. No, low. Go down on the step behind you. Yeah, there. And then your crosshair goes between. Well, you can't see it.
Stairs.
Yeah, that's
block stairs.
Yeah, stairs. That's what I said. The top of the. What did I say? Top of connector.
Top of jungle?
Yeah, jungle. Yeah.
I guess
Sorry.
it is at the top of jungle.
Yeah, no, top stairs is the correct call. You're right.
No. But,
okay, Rushley.
Rush isn't actually bad at CS.
Dupree's joined the game, so you can stop fooling around and get back to work now, Rushley.
He's still paused, but what rank are you now, Rush? Have you lost your rank? No, that's Matt.
That's me. LEM. I doubt it. I doubt it.
Oh, Rush. So wait, am I the highest ranked player who's currently on air? I think I am.
Currently on air, yeah, because Henry's sat over there not on air.
Like,
no, hang on. Yanko counts.
But does he play matchmaking?
Yeah. He's
no,
like,
I don't think he would.
He plays with Henry and Zaz and who else plays with them? DDK at times, and apparently DDK is the problem.
They play matchmaking, not like ESEA or Face It or any of these other...
Here's what happens. They go into servers, and Dan doesn't listen, and then Henry rages the whole time.
Henry doesn't like playing games with me already. Like, he's already tired of playing with me and Alex. I feel that I might have been the problem, but we are back live. 6-0 is the current scoreline in case you missed it. NAVi are leading with quite some margin, but we are back underway as Dupree seems to have fixed said issues, and hopefully his ISP stops messing around.
Well, Dupree going to go out toward middle right now. Set smokes toward top connector on the A site. That'll give them a little bit more of a push potential in toward mid. And this is what I talked about. They needed to go more to this exact default. 3 down middle, 1 on either side of the site. This is perfect. Exactly what they needed. And now they've got a little bit of map control to work with. You play 1 pick, you get it on B. Guess what? You swing everyone toward the B site. You get it on A, swing it back that direction. Bomb's going to stay a little bit more conservative by going back towards spawn for that exact reason. But not only have they gotten mid, now they can start to push Edward back away from the window, potentially get the ladder room, which is extremely powerful, or even potentially, and I'm not as much a fan of it lately with the meta, but go for the boost. It just depends on whether or not you can get catwalk or not.
All right. But this is the first time they've been able to get to connector. This could be a big difference. Device completely and utterly flaccid in what he was able to achieve there. Just goes down without doing anything. Now we've got Flamey. This position shouldn't particularly work. He is going to be checked on. Zipnik's taking a bit of an unorthodox route to do so rather than the traditional step out. He actually just jumps down to check it. And LOC's in the 1v3. So bomb's planted. Kyobi actually turns away. A really bad bit of timing. Maybe expecting Dupree to have seen him by that point if he had been there. But now it does leave Zipnik's a little isolated on the site. The nade comes out. It doesn't connect quite as badly as it could have.
Interestingly, though, he didn't react to it, which is kind of misleading for Seized, because you would have thought he might have panicked seeing a nade come over. He stays in one position. Dupree finds him rotating around, and Zipix was literally just going to stay and wait to the last minute. Had his crosshair watching stairs, the only vulnerable position, and finally they get around. So now they've got reset potential. All right, we're not out of the woods just yet, especially where only 2 survives. But look at that. You get map control in mid, and the world opens up.
But this is the thing. That was almost classic Astralis style of getting in towards ladder room, getting up short, getting everywhere around this map. If Device had actually played out Palace with some sort of, a little bit more velocity to it, I guess, any way I can put it, that's going to fail. It could have actually had a really clean round to it. Again, though, that smoke doesn't exactly go on. So again, Edward Guardian going to be able to actually see towards mid. Carrigan's still up there. He can do the smoke towards connector if he fancies it, play it however he wants to, trying to keep him guessing, while the rest of them are looking towards A.
This time a little bit more pressure on A for that exact reason. They have got 2 toward mid still with 1 in window that can rotate quite quickly. That's the Guardian on the AWP, but Seized. His AWP long removed from this. It's rifles only, and smokes to come out right now for Astralis. Just 1 left. Dupree has it.
I'm actually really glad. Oh, I'm hoping they do not necessarily a defi, but an A hit. When there's double ups in practice, but they can negate them when they go for these site hits and they make it hard to play on the retake. I feel it's a little bit better, but Cease has other ideas, and he's being allowed to get away with a little bit too much here. Kiev goes down already, looking for more. He's got Edward there to back him up, who takes a wide swing. The pop flash going to come out. He does manage to catch Dupree, but he'll get into towards connector and play it safely. Now 3v4, Astralis don't have that bomb down just yet.
Run from Flamey to pick up 1, but Kerrigan getting him back. Dupree, again, to get good position. They're forward of the site. He'll find Simple. Lots of noise made. Easy to find and Seized. Last remaining 33 seconds. 12 HP, though, and going to sit this close to the A site. The question is, do they push through or not? He's just going to let this time expire. So that gives us a good amount of time to just sit, chat.
Yeah.
Talk about that Dragon lore.
I've never had a Dragon lore.
I'm not surprised.
I actually don't like him that much.
I didn't, but they've grown on me.
Really?
I'm a fan of like funky colored skins with high contrast.
Yeah, I like the more kind of like simplistic ones. I like the graphite, like I've got that at the moment. Hyper Beast is
Did you ever?
good.
There's a video on YouTube, the 10 most expensive ops based on rarity, and there's like some very cool, like
the rare pattern, like
yeah. I actually like the Asimov Black Scope, the well worn.
I almost have that. Mine's like got just a little bit of white on it, just a touch.
That's actually, I think, a very cool one to me.
Yeah, they're really nice actually. Like I kind of like it. I prefer that sort of stuff. Anyway, he does manage to save that. Rather heavily discussed AWP. We'll be getting this one back into action. So, Astralis showing that there is life left in them yet. They can still put up a fight, and they aren't going down without one at least being put up here. So again, Guardian's going to get the orb. They can still forge together this buy, so it's certainly not over yet. And I wonder if they're going to be worked out. Are NAVi going to throw a bit of a curveball here? Are they going to try and switch something up here just to push Astralis off any confidence building?
Well, Kerrigan already in toward B apartments, has crosshair placement set toward Van, so Seized is going to have to be careful. Nade through in hopes of trying to remove Kerrigan from this position, but still has 100 HP. That jump, that's twice. I don't think he realized it the first time. I'm not sure if it was spotted. X-Ray could have been misleading in that situation. Either way, Kerrigan, he had it lined up all too easy, but Edward, he's going to try and compensate for this to take back a kill in mid. Would have been a desperate escape plan given that they already had the B site covered off, but simple, look at this. This is just relentless aggression from NAVi. The picks are all going the way. That's a bit too much in my opinion at this point in time, but how can you, it's simple. You got to expect them to do something like that at least once a game.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to ever mentally prepare for what that guy can achieve. So, all right, Flamey and Guardian, 2v4. I say Flamey and Guardian, it's pretty much just Flamey here. He's going to see everything coming his way, and they're still not sure if it's not just a bit of a ruse, a bit of a split. Flamey's going to do what he can from this one spot, but Zimnik's taking the wide step, makes it difficult. Look at his HP now. It's down to 18, so Flamey now tries to fight a bit more of a passive angle. Expect the push there. Catch out Kiebi, he doesn't manage it, and Kerrigan pins the Guardian to the wall, and Astralis finding good success now.
Hey, according to chat, I bet Power's been unbanned. Do you know what I don't believe? Chat.
Yeah, just Twitch chat, that's all. It's not going to happen.
Did you mess Twitch chat and chat up?
I might have done, to be fair.
You said?
Let's be honest,
you just
it's one
mess
of those
up
days.
your words there?
I might have done. To be fair, you said the clanging yesterday. I've got one today.
It's true, I did say one yesterday.
That's very true. That is very true. You know, it's one of those days, Matt.
Oh,
Maybe I was just thinking about your name and got a little switched
Yeah, that's
up
true.
there.
Yeah, subconscious. Device already inside the site. They tried to go for a stack up on BSCs, pushed into the apartments on Palace early. They got one kill, but this is more interesting because even though the bomb's gone down, it's a 1 versus 3. They brought the pistols back around to CT, and I don't think Astralis was anticipating it with the push over to B. They might have called that it was a B stack and didn't expect the rotation that quickly. So now Dupree, he's got a 1 versus 2 still to cover off. Molotov goes down. No kit, so they can't hold it, but they get the kill. And they've got the time. They've got the time after this goes away. Oh, that's close.
What? I need to hear the sound.
I think he's got it. Yeah, he's got it.
He should have it. Yeah, that's fine.
Definitely. That's close, though. That could have been, if he had gone down and his teammates already running over to go collect the AK, that could have been different. But that's I mean, that's a very big win for the Pistols and NAVi. Astralis finally get 3 rounds on the bounce and get something rolling, and now they're going to throw some economy away dearly. Kerrigan, back to the AWP, so that answers your question on who is going to opt this map, Lauren.
Where is Device coming back into this? I want to see him opening again. I really do. Just out of curiosity, if he's actually just backed away from it. And there's the smoke towards mid that I think actually went wrong before. So I'm wondering if that's going to land in the window. They could. Yeah, he's good now that time. There we go. That's perfectly fine. Covers the whole window. He doesn't have a peek from it. But now Edward's actually pulled up a little bit at short as well. Goes on the fight towards Kievi, but Kievi's already expecting it. They're able to isolate these 2 peaks, basically. One towards connector, one towards short. But look at the rest of the map. You've already got that kind of like... I like the way when B players do this. When people like Seized already start showing presence across the map, already start pushing up a little bit, so he can just set off those alarm bells if anyone pushes forward just a touch. So now Simple, listening out, see if anyone would dare come through from ladder room. Seized now has to come back in as there's short presence coming out. This is dangerous, he goes for it. He has to take a fight somewhere, he couldn't back out of it, but that was risky and then some.
I would have expected those shots. Both of those were very reasonable to hit. So bomb going down now in B. Simple. He's going to try and come up from underpass, but the timing is not favorable. It's Xyp9x that's already watching him. Fortunately, they did win the battles on the A site. The lurk players go down. The salesman in this fake over toward B, and that's going to leave them alive for the retake. Simple, good crosshair placement again. His accuracy on point as ever. He'll find Xyp9x, and Guardian, AWP, it's another 1 versus 3. So Astralis, again, are not holding down these post plants, even when they are finally getting toward these sites. NAVi, they're just walking in strength in numbers, and every single one of them hitting shots today.
Yeah, I feel for Astralis. It feels like, okay, we've got a little bit of a way back into this. Oh, he's starting to build up a little bit. And then it's just like, no. Just as soon as it starts to build up, as soon as they look a little bit more deadly, like they have a little bit more of something to bring to the forefront, it just gets kind of broken down again on these retakes. As you said, just players hitting shots. Edward's the only quiet one from NAVi. Everyone else is holding their own and then some. And look at Astralis' economy. This is in absolute tatters, 8-3. It's not looking pretty. The Deagles are out. We've seen big work come from this. We've seen, you know, rounds being turned around when they shouldn't be already today, but there's the first step, I guess, in the right direction if you're of that mentality. Kiev going to find Simple very early on. And this double stack on Shaw needs to be careful with Seized and Edward. Device oversteps his mark and is met by the barrel of Guardian's gun.
Kerrigan, though, coming out from underpass, spotting one, P250 only to work with, and P250 only to die with. It's going to be 9-3 now for NAVi. And Astralis' momentum that was gained after dupree's little temporary removal of self from... I don't know where I'm going with that.
I was really hoping for some incredible story there, because you were selling it.
It's nah. I could sell ice to an Eskimo.
I love your commitment to stories. You know what I mean? Like, I believe whatever you say at this point.
Really?
No.
I was going to say. I could come up with some good ones.
That's incredibly dangerous if I ever did that.
Did I ever tell you the story about Henry G? Which one?
Problem is, I know enough now that...
Oh, good position from Simple. The smoke sells it perfectly. They throw the smoke in late. He's already in the corner. Catches him off and goes through, finds Xyp9x. Guess what? Problems ensue again. You might have mid control, great, but your second prong of the approach gone already.
All right, the 3 players. Kiwi's in a good spot. He can maybe offset something, but Edward already considers it. Keeps it in mind ahead of the curve there, leaving dupreeh and Kerrigan in no man's land at this point. They know roughly where they're going to be, and NAVi can play around it. They don't have to commit towards this. They don't even need to go near it. So again, Astralis hitting that brick wall. Not fun. And Kerrigan looking for opportunities, looking for options, looking for a way to bring any sort of silver lining to this round. Just gonna be placed up by Delpan here. No barrels shut. Oh, Guardian seeing that. There we go. Spots that one out on the way through. Goes out to Simple, who has a huge round. That's 4 kills there for that man. And this guy is really showing some firepower. But back to the Henry G stories. Where are we going with this? Because I've heard a few, some with very strange titles, like, was it KFC
That's
stories?
the one I was going to say. Yeah, that one's still up there.
That's up.
Yeah, I don't think it's the worst, to be fair.
It's not the worst? No.
Oh, wait, no, that one's about a guy named Saderkiss. That one's the worst.
Right, right.
Yeah, that one's definitely the worst. That guy. Whew.
I'd love one day if one of you two got a book deal and just published everything.
Trust me, I'm actually considering it. The amount of time I spent 9.5 days consecutively on, not consecutively, but like in terms of combined hours on planes last year. This year, I think I'm up to 12.1. So I'm pretty sure I have time to write a novel about all the exposed truth of esports.
Who would get
Anders
the deal
is
first?
not innocent, by the way.
Oh, who thinks he's innocent? Who would ever think he is innocent?
That's a good point.
You look at that face, it comes across initially as innocent, and it just like melts away. But all right, back into the round. Edward already kicking things off well for NAVi here, retaining that mid control as he has been so far. dupreeh now going to get a little bit caught up there towards Connector, going to find it hard to break in himself as Kerrigan's down at 2 HP. His support isn't looking too, let's say, healthy, but still they find a way back into this, but they can't follow it up. Simple is still there.
Absolutely is. Device falling down at his hands. Fairly even in terms of HP. In fact, 2 for Kerrigan, 3 for Simple, but Seized is going to find dupreeh. Bomb planted outside boxes. Fortunately, they're not fast enough through that window room to get there in time. Kerrigan's going to try and go the long way around, catch them off this low HP. He wants to try and get the connector, but he's got a chance here, because if Xyp9x can even just catch one of the cross here with this HP as it is, a really decent chance And C's not yet moving. Kerrigan gonna just get there in time, but has C's heard him coming? I think he does, because he's looking at, yeah, I definitely did, because he's already looking out toward Kerrigan. Low HP walks in, crosshair placement done. That makes Zipic's job so much harder. And is there a smoke out on top of the bomb? Not yet. So Zipic's hitting one shot, has this low, 4 seconds left on the defuse, low HP, he's done it, he's lined it up. That's the HP that was the advantage. And Zipic's, I have to say right now, ooh, he did get the gun, he got the LEP.
Nice.
I thought it was gonna go off. I have to say right now with Astralis' problem, Zipic's is the only one that is showing the same level that we've come to expect from them in the past, and I think he's just playing a very intelligent game of Counter-Strike lately.
He is pretty solid. That's the one thing I'm not going to say is excelling. I think that they're still doing something similar to their normal roles. But I said I think Xyp9x is the closest to. So if you look at it, Dupree in theory has been doing that short work. He's been doing what you'd expect of him. Kerrigan now getting played out towards mid. But the problem is now he can't look down the other angle. Smoked out, someone else can punish this. Be it Simple, be it Edward, they become vulnerable. However, the first frag came in elsewhere, that being Device going down, who has been exceptionally quiet here.
Guardian, shot on Dupree, traded out though by Kirby. And it's 3 versus 3. Simple.
Kerrigan.
I'm not sure which I blame in that situation. Simple was the one that let him go by. Kerrigan was anticipating middle, and we came to him late. He had the knife drawn. I wonder if he thought about going for it and then decided against it. Either way, it's down to a 1 versus 2. In favor, never mind, of Astralis, because Seized hits a lovely shot before the flash, and Xyp9x goes down. It's up versus AK-47, and Kirby, the youngster, has to try and hold this angle.
Oh my God,
he gets tagged up, though. It looked like he had the placement down, and Seized gonna pull it back. 11-4 at half.
What a great performance in the end from NAVi. I actually loved what she saw in those individual plays. There was that little bit of a resurge coming in from Astralis where you occasionally saw things working out for them, but it really was few and far between. Yeah.
I play Pokemon Go every day. Go to break. We'll be back for halftime number 2.
I love just the cold cuts, boys. The cold cuts to camera.
I heard 5 seconds, and then 2 seconds later we're on, and there's music still playing.
Yeah, we're having a good time. We're chilling out. You know, it's one of those days. It's a Sunday show. You know what I mean? It
is Sunday, isn't it? I don't know what days of the week it is anymore.
I only get reminded by friends.
This is a direct reflection of how messed up my life is. Like, it's whatever now.
It's all gone wrong since Henry and Alex have been getting closer together, and you just...
Honestly, it's a good thing. They need each other. Come on, guys. Come on. They need each other. They're very lonely, and without each other's moral support, things are rough. Listen, if you need help too, you can reach out on Twitter at HenryGCSGO. He'll tell you all kinds of advice to get you through your long, lonely day. And with that said, we're going to throw it back into game. Where Astralis started off slowly yesterday. They actually started off well yesterday. I messed that up. Don't worry. But they started off slowly today and are down 11-4, switching over to the CT side. They used to have a dynamic AWP setup with Kerrigan. I am trash, you're right. With KGB and Kerrigan. Now, I'm not sure what they have.
You know what? That's the best thing ESL's ever done. You know what? I'm finally proud of my company. It's taken years and just a slow pan of your face. But you know what? That's nailed it. All right, we've got the 3 smokes coming out for NAVi on the T side here. They will be trying to set up a nice set piece towards A. Probably going to... Wait, is it 3 smokes? Yeah, they've got 3 smokes. They've got the full A smokes coming out. Wait, do they? No, because they've got players in Palace.
Do they?
Yeah, no, because they've got players in Palace, so what are they going to do?
You're right. I mean, the smokes are in possession, but they aren't being implemented in the same way we would expected. So they've gone for a double Palace smoke, expecting rotation and hoping that the distance of Dupree's pistol at CT can't cover them off, but it's a USP, and it still can. So I'm not 100% sure what their plan was. They do push forward to the site. Dupree catches off. Edward. Bomb goes down. This could be interesting. Simple waiting in the wings.
This is really weird this round. They've done like a deep smoke towards CT. Simple's now coming up through mid. I don't know what's going on this round. And now 4v2, it's kind of all spiraling out of control. Flamey's now got the angle. He's got complete control. And well, he's the only one to win it now. Round 1v1, Kievi up against Flamey. Flamey desperately trying to dance his way around this one. Kievi now back onto the bomb. He doesn't have a kit though, but he's going to try and draw out Flamey. And Flamey hits the shot. The raid boss comes up with the goods.
I like that deep smoke towards CT late. Like, all right, we've got the site. We still have a smoke. We want to push through and hold off the rotations. Just toss that down, and then they cover off that whole corner. And all they have to do is literally cover one small gap in the choke point.
I don't know. Like, the fact he just ran into CT facing with a smoke in hand, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It worked, which is now the weirdest thing in the world. But, all right. 12-4. If you wanted to see a bit of a closer game, you'd hope the Astralis would have won that second round there and actually brought it back a little bit closer, but that's not going to be the case. Again, they're going to have to operate at such a big deficit here. It's going to be very tricky for them later into this game to make it count. So C's going to hear the fact that, oh my word, Kievi, are you okay? Have you forgotten about underpass? It's a big section on the map. I'd be careful there. C's has just reminded you of its placement. Again, but while this happens, they're hitting the B site, and Flame is just lighting it up at the moment.
Ooh. Low HP and Kerrigan using that movement mechanic of the scout just walks in, confident as ever, gets the kill, but Simple's recovered. Bomb! What is he? There's a smoke down. Did he anticipate him coming from catwalk? Why not just go in the smoke? He just gives the shot to Dupree and Astralis. They pick up an eco round on the back of that. That's a pretty significant misplay from Simple.
Simple, I guess, you know, players like this will have, you know, incredibly high peaks in their play and still will make mistakes. He's still new to this, you know, at this sort of very high pressure level in that sort of aspect with this lineup. With this lineup,
maybe he has put pressure on himself, because you can't say pressure in terms of game. Obviously, he's played a major final, a semi-final, and he's done well in those games, to be fair. I mean, maybe it is just like a wanting to impress NAVi thing where he's always wanted to play for this team.
Alex is absolutely just banging around this studio with, is that a Subway sandwich in hand? This is the worst image I've ever seen of a human, but I wish I could share it with you guys. Watching right now, but this should be a very clean round. This shouldn't, okay, I say shouldn't a lot, and well, it finally kept in check. It was getting a little bit worrying when Kievi actually got picked up there in Connector. He's been having some issues actually playing Connector, and even seized all alone on 5 HP now. 1v4, not going to particularly happen, I don't feel here.
Well, Astralis given a lifeline. Kerrigan's going to catch out the last... Oh, well, okay. Didn't react in time, but he knows he's there, and it's only 5 HP for him. Doesn't have the bomb anyway, so ultimately it's not a big deal. Xyp9x is the only one that's in threat of going down to this Glock, unless someone makes a massive blunder or plays like Alex. But either way, it's going to go to 12-6. Astralis, this was a similar scoreline that they did see on Train at a point in time, but again, Train slipped away quite quickly. It went 16-7. I messed up things. I'm dyslexic. Did you ever hear the story about the how does it go? The agnostic insomniac who stayed up all... Agnostic dyslexic insomniac who stayed up all night wondering if there really was a dog. That's what it is. I got it.
I'm not even going to comment on this.
It's fine.
I'm so done. I'm so done with you. I'm at such a point in my life where I've just, you know, it's just hit rock bottom, that.
it's just hit rock bottom now, I fear for how deep you've gone to finally reach that point.
Oh, it's been a fun couple of days. All right, Kerrigan towards mid now. Gets absolutely railed.
I don't understand why he elects to pull out a Molotov in that position, because the AWP placement was dead on. All he had to do was click the mouse button, and I'm not sure if he misclicked or something. If he's got scroll wheel maybe bound, I'm not sure. That was really bizarre.
Yeah,
Either way, it's down to Device, 1 versus 5 in this situation, and it all starts off. I mean, Kerrigan could have easily picked up a pick down middle. Edward gets him, finds him, takes him down, and it's going to go 13 rounds for NAVi. An investment coming in from Astralis. They've got very little cash left, and we could very quickly end this game just like we did the one on Train.
Yeah, I think if you look at Astralis at the moment, they seem like a very, very broken team in the way they're approaching at the moment. They don't look like they're ready yet. This is very much, let's warm back up into this game. Let's get ready to start playing again. This is not the team you expect to be picking up these big wins, really. And Guardian there, again, getting the mid control already with Edward, with Simple, and then seized over by B, Flamey over by A, and then just take map control and build through it. And it's been working so well so far. Guardian's in a little bit of no man's land here. He could get punished. Bear in mind where Device and Kerrigan actually are. There's a bit of a crossfire here. How did you work out?
Guardian, pistol switch, gets Kerrigan down, and although they try and go for him, he's on 5 HP. If they push through the connector aggressively, they'll get caught off. Flamey stops Dupree from doing so from Catwalk, and just like that, well, Kirby, he gets him back, but Guardian gets away, more importantly, because it leaves the AWP on the map against the 3 defending players that now have to split up of Astralis, and splitting up on Mirage is a big problem.
Yeah, it really is. Now, let's look at Astralis, how they approach this. What are they going to do with themselves here? They're going to pull back in towards A. 2 players there and leave Device pretty much on his lonesome by B. Actually, no, they're going to split up completely. It's Zipnix all alone, Kirby all alone, and Device all alone. If NAVi takes, I guess, the initiative's the wrong word, but if they play towards one of these sites quick, they could easily catch a really nice advantageous situation, which I think they're going to with Device here. If they do make a sound, however, he will hear it. He's in a really good position to get some sort of ears on this. Zipnix as well, going to be watching the back play, just in case anyone tries to come through window or try and get around towards the towards kitchen there. So Device just going to be doing the jump peek. As soon as he sees something, which will be very soon, which will be seized, it's time to call for backup, time to call for support. Can he hold these guys up?
Device. I'm actually impressed he didn't get down. So I thought he was going to give a window to the drop, but it's seized. That gets him regardless with the AK-47 on the way through. Man advantage bomb down. Guardian, again, low HP, so he's just going to hold an angle. The problem is Kirby's coming from Catwalk. He won't be seen. It's Edward instead, though, that easily nullifies that situation. And bye-bye, Zipix. Run away and save the M4.
You were singing his praises on the first half.
No, to be fair, look,
this is what you've done.
His kill distribution is definitely down on this game, but I just think in the clutch situations, he's still shown the most poise, I guess you could say. Obviously, the 1 versus 3 speaks to that. I will say, look, the crossfire set up with Kirby, he was trying to protect Kirby against Simple in that the 2 versus 1 on Train. But if he had looked at time, he had about 15 seconds. He could have faded away off it and potentially still been in an all right position. So maybe there it was different, but in clutches, I think Zipix is the go-to guy right now on Astralis.
You believe?
Didn't say I believe, I just said if you got to pick someone.
Yeah, I guess pick your poison at that sort of point. But 14-6, NAVi, firmly in control. Guardian's got the spawn, the A spawn if he wants to take it. Just bang it out towards ramp, get the pick, do what you want. And I like him to do this. He's been playing pretty confidently so far. And already Kirby going to take some damage, pretty knife in the back from the teammates. And look at this, just shooting ducks here at this point. Already Kirby gets punished, expects the push-up as well from Dupree, and that was as readable as you like. Make it 3, why don't you? Kerrigan shuts down all the party, all the fun, and tries to make more of it.
Kerrigan. You know what? Everyone uses the USB. That's the first time I've heard that. That sounds like a little firecracker going off, that P2000 now. Speaking of firecrackers, one time I lit one in my hand and I was so fascinated by the flame that it just blew up my fingers. That was when I was about 7, first time I ever threw a firecracker.
Never do that.
Bawled my eyes out.
Bad idea.
To be fair, the other day I did the same thing, bawled my eyes out then. 20 years later, go figure. You would have thought I learned. Flamey gets Zipix, and you would have thought he learned because now it's map point once more for NAVi.
Yeah, 15-6, they are pretty much in control here. We've seen dominance throughout all of this game, pretty much across every single aspect of it. And obviously Astralis' money has never got off the starting blocks really at this point. You've got UMPs, you've got deals, a touch of utility, but I am pretty sure we expect how this one's going to go down. Let's see what they bring in. Anyway, Guardian with a little bit of a changed up smoke here actually towards A. That's not quite the default one towards CT, so a little bit adjusted. Look and see where that one goes. but it is Guardian nonetheless to find Dupree instantly. That's quite nice. It's towards quad box, so you can't get the AWP peek from it. You define the angles. That's quite an interesting way of doing things. All right, Guardian, look at this guy go straight towards the side. Kiebi's still there. I wonder if they're going to check for this. They've got to know he's around. You can see the caution, and there he goes, straight away picked up, and now Zipnik's in the 1v4.
1v no more, 16-6, 16-7. Astralis go down 0-4 to start off the season. Pretty abysmal start, I have to say. And yesterday we thought about Team X, and I have to say, Lurpus made a decent point. That win, okay, Team X has been doing better. There's no question. I don't want to take away from that. They put up good numbers against NIP. They've been in the contest, you could say, in each game. But yesterday, I think that speaks more about Astralis's sort of placing right now, and this certainly does. NAVi just absolutely slaughters them and didn't really even have to break a sweat doing so.
No, I completely agree. I think this is what always happens in that first week or two of Pro League. You find out where the teams roughly are and where they match up to each other, because sometimes it looks a really kind of skewed result that you're not sure why, and then eventually you go, okay, well, this team's really not in form. Well, these guys, okay, they're showing a bit of potential. So again, I think we just need to find out where the dust settles at the end of this week.
Well, with that said, to find out where the dust will settle on this game, we send it over to our brilliant analyst that's being eclipsed by the man that looks like he has a carpet for hair today. Alex, over to you.
A carpet? You know, it is quite thick today. I did the whole roll out of bed and don't put any product in it.
I think that's the first nice thing Matt ever said to me.
That was quite nice. Yeah, he was nice to you, actually, yeah.
Like, I don't know what's going on.
There's always a bit of venom in everything he says, just a little bit, just a little bit. Anyway, though, we do see a nice victory for NAVi. They're going to be sitting 4-0, as he's already stated. I mean, I think it's abundantly clear that NAVi are going to be in a very good frame of mind for the rest of this Pro League. They've got Simple, it's a fresh start for them, and you proceed to go 0-4. Complete opposite for Astralis. Like, how do you get into a positive mindset? Every single game they lose, I see a tweet from the Astralis account like, another disappointing loss, a disappointing loss, embarrassing loss. They're taking these hard.
I mean, NAVi pretty much swept the floor with them in this match, so I mean, for them, there's not much you can do at this point. You just have to practice. You have to get your groove back, as we were, you know, harping about it all the time. It has been vacation period for the players, so just need to, you know, get those hours in, get the mechanics back, because right now it's looking pretty grim from them.
Okay, so your actual criticism, you've just seen Mirage as well, which we did suggest did favor Astralis more so than Train. Was there anything other than the mechanics, you know? Was the fundamentals still there? Was their strategy flawed, or?
I mean, to an extent, Matt also pointed it out in the cast that they were, you know, didn't go for that mid control that we were talking about early on, and you can see how it is easier for NAVi's players to defend when they know that there's no one in mid. After that, when the first rounds they won was when they went for mid control, or at least faked it, right? So they could switch the focus of NAVi's players towards it. But after that, NAVi was just the better team. They were adjusting to it. You could see Simple pushing ramp, getting kills there as well. You know, they were the better team by far in this game.
And all of the individuals showing up from NAVi, it did just feel like the players themselves were the better five. You know, if you actually were to put 5v5, 5 1v1s, and it feels like the NAVi boys would have won them almost every time. They looked so much better, I think. I mean, the aggression from Guardian, right, this is in the match point, but there was evidence that towards the end of that one that NAVi were just playing cocky. Like, I saw a little reminiscence of, you know, the old Fnatic where they'd just run around and, you know, play with the mindset we're better than you, and there was no necessary strategy. Guardian just rushed ramp.
And they proved it with their play, so...
It's kind of cool to see, and I do love that you have, this is a scary roster now. You know, the discussion for NAVi was always Flamey, Guardian. Now you put a third name on that list, it was none other than Simple. These are what I was talking about, these picks here. The fact that, you know, you see, I think it was Kiebi who went for the peek on stairs. Guardian takes that extra second, it was actually Dupree, an extra second just to zone in his aim, and he nearly got the third as well onto Carrigan. But I mean, this is always funny on an analyst desk, there's not much to break down. You just sit there and say NAVi were better players, Astralis didn't take mid-control. Is there anything else to add to the pile, or is it just a case of the better team won?
Definitely the better team won. And I mean, you know, winning pistols and having strong starts doesn't hurt either. You could see that even though in the second half they lost the anti-force buy round, didn't really, you know, change much. They just, once they got their guns back, they were pretty much in the driver's seat.
They certainly were. And I do feel like it's just a question of basically putting some time in, spending time here at the ESL Pro League. Astralis 0-4 to start off the ESL Pro League. That will perhaps haunt them. We said the same for Team X, and they have managed to bounce back. Let's see if the Danes can do it a little later on. For now, though, we do take a quick break. When we come back, you do get another game of CS. In fact, 2 maps to look forward to. We get to see G2 versus FaZe. FaZe, fantastic start in the Pro League, and G2 going into their second game of the season. We'll see how it plays out after this.